From the moment we are born, we seek a sense of belonging, of righteousness where we are standing and who we are surrounded by. We crave a mother's acceptance, a father's guidance, a sibling's hand to hold, a tree to trust, a friend to lay our thoughts on, and know that it's right, that we deserve to be there and to feel that. The roots of belonging run deep, intertwined with the soil of our identity. They anchor us to the earth, grounding us in a world that feels chaotic and uncertain. It is in the shelter of belonging that we grow, our branches reaching out towards the light of understanding and acceptance. Like a tree in a forest, we find our place not in isolation, but as part of a greater whole, each leaf and branch contributing to the majesty of the canopy above. We seek that third place. We have work, we have a home, but we try to find that place that calls to us, even though we weren't born into it. And we crave its open arms and soothing atmosphere. A yoga teacher has a park where they go to practice, to study nature, and inspire their classes after the way the branches and trees move in the wind. An artist goes to museums to see how other people create and express their art, and to visually see how art can reach and affect everyone. A writer has their favorite bar, a place where words are minimal, where a gland could say 1,000 words, where you can study people, and where there are infinite mini napkins to write on. The hardest part, for me personally, is feeling like I belong in this body, that I deserve the experiences that happen to me. You know that feeling when you experience something and you just know it was meant for you? For me, it was spending a month in Bali to get my yoga certification. The whole time I was there, I was deeply in touch with myself and my surroundings. I felt soft, safe. My feet didn't have to carry me. I was light with my steps. I felt like I had more air to breathe in, and my surroundings felt so real. Strangers I would speak to, I could see their souls and what color their hearts looked like. I got a taste of what it's like to be free, to feel like I'm on the path that's written for me. I felt like I belonged, even though I was in a room full of strangers and I didn't know the language and I was alone in a land where no one knew me. I felt a sense of belonging. And when I left Bali, I knew that's what I wanted out of life. To experience things and know that it's meant for me. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy or intense. Before I became conscious of deeper emotions and overlapping sensations, this feeling was natural for me as a child. Something as simple as being bored and sitting in your mom's room, making out the patterns of light from the windows, and the faint movements of the curtains, the sound of the birds, bugs, and the cars. I knew there was nowhere else I had to be. Or when you bite into a really good strawberry, where you taste the color red, and there's a perfect song between the sourness and the sweetness, and you can feel your mouth salivate, craving more, and it just feels right. And now, when I do things and it doesn't feel that way, I feel like I'm betraying myself, betraying who I'm meant to be. This craving and need for such a specific feeling can be so frustrating. I want that peace so badly, but my emotions, unconscious beliefs, get in the way of reaching that peace. When I hold on to someone that I know I'm supposed to let go, when I relive trauma over and over in my head, when I bite my tongue, when I reach for unhealthy coping mechanisms, when I'm in my head too much, it's hard to remember how it's supposed to feel, how life is supposed to feel. I traveled through bustling city streets where skyscrapers and neon lights reflect the dreams and lives of countless people, yet the crowd's vastness makes me feel small, like a solitary note in a symphony. I find myself in tranquil villages where the pace of life is gentle and traditions flow like the slow-moving river. Here, the community's warmth is palpable, but the distance between my past and this place feels vast. I explore markets in foreign lands, where spices and sounds create a rich tapestry. Each stall, a piece of mosaic I'm trying to understand. I marvel at the diversity, yet I grapple with finding my place in this intricate weave. I visit sacred sites, ancient and revered, where the air is thick with the echoes of faith and history. I stand among the gathered, seeking to feel a connection that transcends borders and beliefs. But that sense of belonging remains just beyond my reach. I attend global gatherings, festivals of culture and unity, where people from every corner of the world converge. The celebration is grand, but as I dance among strangers, I wonder where my story fits in this expansive narrative. Each place offers glimpses of belonging, like stars scattered across a vast sky, each shining with the promise of connection. And as I journey across continents, I'm left with the realization that belonging is not merely a place, but a tapestry of moments, woven from the threads of shared experience and understanding. Yet, as we journey through the landscape of our lives, the quest for belonging can sometimes cast shadows. The longing to fit in may lead us to mask our true selves or to exclude others in the pursuit of acceptance. Throughout my adolescence, I experienced different friendships and relationships. Some were innocent and gradually faded away to forever be cherished and remembered when I recall an inside joke or a vocal stim we shared. It's sweet and memorable. But I've also encountered jealousy and projection, insecurities and expectations from other people and from me, where I feel I have this need to comply or bite my tongue in order to fit into their idea of who I am. So I'm not alone. So I'm not tossed aside. Because there's a false sense of belonging there, where I feel heard and seen, but really it's a facade. And it's not a recognition of who I am, but it's just compliance and settling. Earlier this month, I went to visit a close friend, someone who I don't speak to on the daily, but when we do talk, it feels like no time has gone by, where little to no words can be said and I understand what she's feeling, where I can talk for hours about how I see the world and I know she understands. She just gets it, and I can just be. And my mind feels beautiful when I'm experiencing life with her perspective in it. And strangely, life throws us similar people, lessons, and heartbreaks at the same time. We don't question it, we just accept it. And it feels less lonely, knowing we aren't alone in this process of grief and melancholy in life. I've never had a female friendship like this, where I feel like I belong in her life, and she belongs in mine, where there's no strings, no expectations, just an understanding that our womanhood is safe in each other's presence. And I met 3 other girls one night there. They didn't know my name, I didn't know theirs. Still, I felt this energy of safety and reassurance I seldom feel around people. The entire night, I felt this inexplicable feeling of freedom, where I danced, drank, sang, and no other intention other than being. And when I had opened my eyes to see the other girls, they were doing the same thing, leaning on one another to coexist safely and peacefully. It's women like them that make me feel like my existence belongs with theirs. Whether temporary or lasting, our paths crossed for a reason. I was meant to experience that night. It just felt right. It felt like I belonged. And to belong is to be seen truly and wholly. It is the balm for the wounds of solitude, the promise that we're not alone in this vast expanse of existence. In the vast expanse of human connection, where our lives intertwine with threads of circumstance, there exists a quiet, profound need, a longing not just to be seen, but to be understood. Belonging is not merely a place or a label, but a fabric woven from moments shared, a silent agreement that here, in this space, we are more than solitary entities. It is in the look that lingers just a moment longer, the unspoken understanding that fills the gaps between words we might never find. When we feel we belong, we are anchored, grounded not by the weight of expectation, but by the gentle embrace of acceptance. Here, in the sphere of mutual recognition, we find the courage to be ourselves, to unmask the fears and hopes we carry, to risk vulnerability and the trust that we're not alone. The heart is a delicate traveler, and in the sanctuary of belonging, it finds the rest it needs to dream freely, to laugh openly, and to heal from wounds unseen. In the simple yet profound space, we discover that our existence is not a solitary voyage, but a shared journey, where every step forward is lighter because we walk together. Belonging is the silent song of the heart, the whisper of understanding that echoes through the chord of our being. It is the warmth of a heart that invites us in from the cold, a sanctuary where the self finds solace and strength. In its embrace, we discover a reflection of our truest selves, mirrored in the eyes of those who share our journey. The sense of belonging fills the empty spaces within us, like a river carving its path through a parched landscape, bringing life and renewal. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon.